us. We got to keep getting better in order for us to put ourselves in a position to win this series.
We know it gets rowdy in Milwaukee, but I think we're ready for it.
Oh, he throws it down. Cameron Johnson, back-to-back 40-point final games. And the series is now 2 games to 1.
The wait is over. Game 4 of the finals from Milwaukee tonight, and we're breaking down every possible angle. Team USA soars over the Argentinians. How confident are you in our squad moving forward? And recurring guest, Bucks legend Oscar Robertson is stopping by. So don't make any plans. We've also got Jay Crowder joining us. Run to a TV or dance the salsa if you like, because your favorite show's favorite show tips off right now.
Welcome to The Jump, presented by Credit Karma.
We are live from Gather at Deer District in Milwaukee, where the Bucks are hoping to tie the series up at 2 games apiece tonight. We have a packed show to get you ready for Game 4. Welcome to The Jump. I am Rachel Nichols. I got right next to me here. I don't know how their salsa dancing is, but I do know that they're good at winning championships.
Actually, it's the same shirt from yesterday, but
no, it's different.
It's the same shirt.
It's different.
Well, it's all
it's different. You got to have a ton of white shirts in your crew. You got to.
Welcome to The Jump. It's Rachel Nichols here with Statler and Waldorf. Yes, Richard Jefferson, Kendrick Perkins, a couple of NBA champs. And look who is also joining us remotely, Mr. Vince Carter, 22 record years playing in the NBA.
What?
And, of course, a future Hall of Famer.
Wait, did you see what we got? He got rid of it. He got rid of his hearing aids. Oh, we got some AirPods.
I got him.
Where are they? Where's the? Oh, God. God. See, I didn't say you look like. He said you look. Perk said you look like radio. I would never disrespect you, but I'm so glad.
But what is the ones he has now? Aren't that different?
Yeah.
White instead of black. They're a little lower in the ear.
We're gonna work on that, Vince. But I'm just glad you got rid of those things. The hearing. Why are you laughing so hard, Perk?
Richard, do you really want to get into an ear discussion with anyone?
No, I don't. Because right now, Vince is thinking about what he's about to say. He's looking us up and down. Like, what am I about to clown on?
I got nothing to say. We're good.
Vince, that is a wise decision.
Yeah, we're going to celebrate. We're just glad that you came here. It's a celebration, man.
Oh, my
Lord.
Lord.
Glad. Hey, Perk, you
Perk's
good?
struggling.
Perk is literally crying. Literally crying. Let's get to Game 4, gentlemen. Tonight, Giannis Antetokounmpo. We are very happy to see you, Vince. We are very happy to watch some basketball finally tonight. Giannis Antetokounmpo notched back-to-back 40-point games in these finals. Only Michael Jordan has had 3 straight 40-point games in the finals before. So in '93, MJ actually ripped off a stretch of 4 straight. That was also against the Suns. Now, Giannis kept repeating, quote, "I'm not Michael Jordan. I'm not Michael Jordan," in his press conference following Game 3. But Vince, as someone who was compared to Michael Jordan early in your career yourself, is it fair to expect another 40-point game from Giannis tonight, or do you think that he will? What is going on with you two?
It's him.
That boy Perk crazy, man.
Perk can't stop laughing. Get it together, Perk.
Yes, because it's his fault.
No, but I'll say this though. I don't. I mean, obviously, nobody wants to be compared to MJ, but 40 points. I think there's going to be an adjustment where Giannis is going to see a lot of double teams tonight, and they're going to make it tough for him and make him a facilitator. I mean, if they're going to continue to let him play one-on-one, yes, he will get 40 points. Particularly if he gets Ayton in foul trouble, and now Jay Crowder, Cam Johnson, or what's the other one? Torrey Craig has to guard him. So I don't see him getting 40, but I see him being a difference maker.
You want Perk?
No, it's on you.
Okay. I just didn't know if Perk wanted to go.
No.
Look, I think it's fair to expect him from him because I think that's the type of player he is and what he's capable of doing. You've seen it in back-to-back performances, and it doesn't look like he had more room, like he could have kept going. Like they pulled him. He had 40, and he didn't play in the last portion of the game. So I think it's okay to expect that from him, but also he's only going to be judged on wins and losses. When you are a great player like that, if you have 30 in a win and you have 40 in a loss, like you know what he wants. So that's how you're going to judge him, not necessarily by a 40 piece.
Right. And here's the thing. I think he's going to have to be a guy that's going to have to be a playmaker out of the post tonight. Right, so I don't think he's going to score 40. I think he's going to get about 25 to 30 points because the Phoenix Suns are going to make adjustments. They're not going to allow Giannis to continue to, dominate in the paint, even on post-ups. I'm not talking about isolation plays. I feel like Monty Williams, they will adjust. They will put their pride aside and say, you know what, we're going to send a double team on the bounce. Once he put the ball down, we're going to send a double team, get the ball out of his hands and scramble. So tonight he's going to have to be a playmaker. But he's so gifted, he's so talented. What's up, VC?
Hey, Perk, I would like to see the ball go double in the air, to see if he can make plays on that instead of, sometimes you get the ball on the bounce. You get time to assess, like, all right, I'm going to bounce it. Here it comes, and I can make the play. Go double him when the ball is in the air and see if he can make that decision quickly on those type of situations instead of, you're waiting. Because sometimes, once great players, when you know that it's coming on the bounce, what are you going to do? You're going to bait them into it.
Yeah.
Right, but, I mean, so much of this, I know we just kind of gloss over, if Ayton can stay away from being in foul trouble. That's kind of the whole thing, though, right? Dario Saric is out with a torn ACL, so they do not have their regular backup center. And Giannis has torched anyone smaller than him who has been the defender. Yeah. Ayton is the only one with really the size to match up against him. He's done a good job in several situations this whole season, not just in the playoffs. But if he's on the bench, the guy who is normally on the court instead has got his knee wrapped up. So
that's the number one thing that I think we're going to look at is how they're going to go at Ayton. Because if I'm a coach, go take 4 or 5 extra shots in the first quarter, see if you can get him in trouble. Because that's a huge pendulum swing the other direction if he has any issues. So I just think that's where I think the Milwaukee Bucks make an adjustment is how do we go at Ayton? How can we get him off the floor or make him tentative?
Well, I don't think it's just
go ahead.
I don't think even just to your point, not just even Giannis, right? You look at Brook Lopez, right? Establish him with deep seals or whatever the case may be, because in my mind, I'm thinking that Monty may make the adjustment that you put Jay Crowder on Giannis, you put Ayton on Lopez, but still put Lopez on the block. He's great on the block. He's great at drawing fouls as well. And so you just want to try to get Ayton off the floor if you're the Milwaukee Bucks.
All right, I want to switch over to one of the teams not in the NBA Finals. The Clippers announced that Kawhi Leonard underwent successful surgery on his right knee due to a partially torn ACL. Now, we knew that the ACL was the issue. That's why he missed the Clippers' final 8 playoff games. They kept saying it was a sprain and, in fact, rebuffed the idea that it was torn at all. Apparently, it is a partial tear. Now, we don't know what that means in terms of a timetable for his return, but Leonard gets a player option for this next season, and here are his contract options. So he can opt out, still re-sign with the Clippers, right? He could opt in and sign an extension with the Clippers, and you can see that number is 182 compared to 176 above
no difference.
it. And then he could re-sign with the Clippers for just 1 season, and then set himself up for that 5-year max the following season. Or he could opt out, of course, and not re-sign with the Clippers at all and go sign with another team. So do you think, Richard, this injury and the fact that we don't know if he's going to be out 6 months now after the surgery, what it will be? I mean, literally, it could be 4 months, 6 months, 9 months. We don't know the severity of the tear. What do you think, though, given that it's going to be something? Well, I think that make him more likely to pick?
Well, I think superstars are immune from having to worry about whether or not there'll be a market. Kawhi Leonard is box office one of the best players in the league. And I don't want to count somebody else's money saying this is what you should do. But given that you have had multiple knee surgeries, ACL, you've had I think it was a patella tendon that he had in San Antonio. So you start to look at long-term security. And so if you get an opportunity to sign a 4-year deal, the only thing about this, and Blake Griffin showed us this, you've seen it with Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, once you sign these big deals and you're locked in, now all of a sudden the team is like, well, we don't like what we see, we're going to ship you to Detroit.
Yeah, but I don't see that happen with Kawhi, right? He's 30 years old. I feel like he will bounce back. And when you look at this injury, a partially torn ACL and tearing your ACL completely, it's still the same time for us recovery-wise. I think.
Well, how long was yours?
Mine was 7 months. So it's 7 to 12 months, right, to come back. And we all know that Kawhi likes to take his time coming back, and no one is going to rush him back. So if I'm Kawhi, you got to ask yourself, where are you going, right? He's going to get his money. Steve Ballmer is going to pay him. They love him in the Clippers organization. But at this point, where are you going? And then if I'm Kawhi, after I went down, I'm looking at the Clippers and I'm looking at what they did after I went down, especially Paul George, and I'm like, oh, they fought to the end. I want to be a part of this. You saw what T. Lue was able to do. You're not going to go play for a better coach in the NBA, so you got to keep a cool booty and stay still.
I like it. I hear you. But, I agree with both of you because I tell you this, does he want to rehab somewhere else? Does he want to be home? Well, he wanted to be home. He wanted this team. He created this team. He put this team together. So now what do you want at this point? They put themselves in a situation where if he was playing, they're probably in the finals. I think we all can agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Nobody?
I can see that.
Okay.
I can
see that.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they took them to 6 games with him. Just imagine if Kawhi's there, averaging 30 points a game doing what he does. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, Perk, I agree with you. What do you want? What are you trying to accomplish now? Do you want a new location, new scenery? You said you wanted to be home. You're home. And you get to make the decision. That's a player's dream. You get to be home and be a part of the decision making and guys coming in. So I think at the end of the day, exactly, boy, that looked like RJ out there.
No.
Okay.
Vince, I totally agree.
That's a stretch, Vince.
Don't
give him that much. My bad. Please.
I'm just saying. That looked like Vince Carter.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
I certainly think the question is more of what kind of deal they want to put together than is he leaving, but we'll see. Look, this is the NBA. You never know what's going to happen next week, and that's certainly true in the offseason. I want to get real quick, though.
Regardless.
Exactly. I want to get real quick to Team USA because they had another exhibition game last night. They rebounded after consecutive losses. They blew out Argentina by 28 points. You were seeing this sick dunk from Zach LaVine, but there was also a great photo posted pregame from Bradley Beal's wife. Take a look. Look at all this. The future generations of USA hoops, right? And by the way, with all of the sons of NBA players that are now current NBA players, this is no joke. Like this photo, my bet is that an NBA player is in this photo. We just don't know which one yet, right?
Not two.
Yeah.
If
not two. Amen, right?
Yeah.
So, Vince, you're calling the Olympic Games this year. You're leaving for Tokyo in just a few days. How confident are you in Team USA, given what you have seen, not just last night, but the previous 2 games, which they lost unexpectedly?
Well, I think they can get the job done. It's not going to be easy. I think they can score with anyone. But my issue and my question is defensively, what are you going to do? And it's not even in the post. It's the perimeter. You have to protect the 3-point line, and on the dribble drive into your paint can't happen. When you're allowing Patty Mills to get into your paint and get layups at the front of the rim, that is a concern. Point blank, period. So I think giving up the 3-point shot had them flying out, which allowed dribble drives and easy baskets. So in my opinion, if you can't defend, you're going to have a rough road. But what I like that Pop did, and I hope you guys agree, or I'd love to hear what you guys think about this, Pop made the decision to put more scoring on the floor. He put more scoring on the floor, adding LaVine, and he moved Draymond to the bench. He's the Swiss Army knife in this, where you can implement him wherever's needed. If you need a big or somebody to score, if you're struggling, you implement him and let him run your offense and let your other 4 guys score. So they needed scoring early. And I think they're going to switch regardless. Their defense is going to switch regardless. So you might as well have scoring with that switch in defense, and then you just kind of move guys in front. And then you have to understand who is going to be your go-to guys. Obviously Durant, Damian Lillard, and then probably Bradley Beal, and then Booker when he gets back, and then you kind of figure it out from there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not confident at all to be 100 with y'all for the simple fact that I'm not about to overreact to them beating Argentina last night. They were playing Luis Scola. He's older than me. He's 40 years old, okay? And look, the physicality. I was watching that team last night, and it's no disrespect, but you look at the players that they have, KD, Dame Dollar, those guys, they play cute, right? In a good way, right? They get buckets. They're not guys that's going to go down there and mix it up in the trenches. And what I see from these other teams like Nigeria, they have a lot of rough riders. They have guys that are not afraid to go down there and bang down low. They're not afraid to go down there and mix it up, get into you, and the referees let you play in this league. You have to be physical playing in the Olympics.
And one of the reasons, and it was great that Vince pointed this out, one of the reasons why you had to go with more scoring is because you don't have the traditional type of defense that you want to be playing in those moments.
Correct.
You don't have the David Robinson. You don't have the Kevin Garnett. You don't have those individuals to really shore up your inside defense. So you're switching across all five. Now, one of the things when you switch across all five, a guy like Bam Adebayo or a guy like Kevin Durant, they might not be down there on the block to protect the paint. They might be on the perimeter if you're switching across. So that just makes the dribble drive that much more open. And if you're susceptible to that, then you just have to go, well, all right, then we're just going to try and outscore you. And that could work because they have more offensive firepower than anybody. But I don't know if this defense and the way they're going to try and play it is going to work without a traditional big.
I'm just going to keep saying what I've said every day. That team has Kevin Durant on it. So therefore, I am not
go with scoring then. Go with scoring.
Of what they can do. And it doesn't mean they're guaranteed to win a gold medal, but I'm never going to be panicked because that team has Kevin Durant on it.
Yeah, it's not a panic, Rachel. You're right. It's just a concern. Right. It's just alarming. 23s from Nigeria, that's just now when you go into pool play or group play, they're going to look at you now and say, hey, they're beatable. Regardless of you're the mighty USA, you're beatable. That's all.
Did he say
for
pool
sure.
play? Did he say pool play?
I don't know.
He said the group round. Richard, please take your mind out of whatever gutter lives in.
I said pool play, then I said or group play.
Oh, I thought you said poop.
Vince, I just like that Kendra's talking about how in the Olympics you got to be able to run with the guys who bang down low, which is just so different from when you played in the Olympics and nobody would even touch each other back then.
Right.
It was the least physical of all the different kind of basketball that you played. Vince, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you a little bit later on in these NBA finals. Everybody else, stick around. Coming up on this show, Jay Crowder is going to join the Jump. So excited for that. He'll discuss his fit with